Welcome back, everybody. Finishing up the front of this motor today. Once that's done, it's basically cleaning, a little bit of dress up a few spots, and plug wires, and then the underdrive pulleys are ordered, still waiting on some parts. Once they come in, the front will be completely done. I had all this stuff with blast bead. It looks really nice. I got to touch the bolts up with blue then, and then we'll be ready to drop in. Then we're going to start on the wiring, and we're going to hook that GM HEI module up, which plugs into this right here. So, welcome to Wrenching Rick's Garage. First thing we got to do is, this is like, I had to pull this balancer off because I found this, a keyway. It's been years. I'm thinking there was a keyway in the crank already, so we just used it. But I want to double check and make sure. Peace of mind. So I'm going to pull this off quick and just double check. Only takes a minute. I just thread this one right in. I should have used the shorter bolts. We'll just run this in, pop this off quick if the keyway's there. I'll put a little grease on the back of the balancer. And we'll just run it back in. I don't remember what size this is, but apparently it's very big. This is for a truck or something. This is my son's Mac Tools puller set. I almost didn't even know how to use it. I'm used to the old cheap style one. It's like a steering wheel puller, but this works, I hope. It shouldn't take much to pull this off, so we really didn't press it on. That's how you do this. You should never hit these with a hammer. Never. You don't want to hit these with a hammer, because this rubber in here you can distort and whatnot. And when you rebuild a motor, especially if it has unknown miles, I recommend replacing this harmonic balancer just for the vibration factor. This outer ring can actually distort itself and come off, or spin on the center section, and that would create some serious problems internally in the motor when it comes to vibration. So you don't want that. Definitely do not want that. Not yet. Shouldn't take much. It's off. Now we're going to do the right thing, especially since this isn't mine. And we're going to put everything back before it gets lost. Because we won't need this to install it. And chances are, hopefully, I'm just pulling it off, putting it right back on again. That is back the way it was. The top is closed. We're done with you. Okay, there is a keyway in it. See right here, there's a spot for a keyway. Apparently the other one was still embedded in the crank just fine, so we left it, but you have to have this keyway to line up on the crank. So now, it feels pretty oily, but I'm gonna get a little bit of grease. Put a little bit of lubricant on it when you slide it back in, because remember, these things usually don't like taking them on and off like that. It's a little bit of grease. Nothing fancy. Just enough when you start sliding it in that it has something to bite on. Yep, that's it. Wiggle it a little bit. Look around it. Make sure it's starting to seal. Take the bolt out. We can't really tighten this up all the way until A, we have it back in the truck so we can put it in gear, or B, I have somebody to hold it. I'm going to clean this up now that we are definitely in good shape. We'll be back in a minute. Normally, if I can hold this from turning, which I really can if I use the bolts, but it works just as easy in the truck. I would Loctite this when I put this bolt in, but being as I can't hold it, I'll pull the balancer in, and then I will wait till we get it in the truck, and I'll pull the bolt out again, Loctite it, and torque it. I believe it's 90 pounds? Gotta look it up. It's something like that. And a little bit of brake clean. Clean these bolts up good. That way that gets the oil residue off it. And we're gonna put this in and hopefully the balancer's on far enough that the threads will grab. Yep. Question is, do I have a socket big enough for this? That I don't know. I know what size it is. It's 15/16. All the Ford V8s are 15/16. Yep, we're good. And we're going to run this in as far as we can. And it's self-aligning. It'll line itself up as it goes in. I don't remember where he got this balancer, but I know they go anywhere from like 75 to like 150. Some of them are even more depending on what you get. Like a stock one, this is just stock, but like fluid damp and some of them are pretty expensive. There, now I can't go anymore. It's telling me it's bottomed out. So, I'll loosen this bolt up. It's in as far as I can get it to go. I'll loosen that bolt a little bit. Like I said, we'll have to Loctite down when we put it together. Now, thermostat. I did take this out of the other motor, because as far as I remember, it was brand new. So what we're going to do is we're going to test it. Propane torch. We're going to wave it. I don't know if you can see it good. Right now it's closed. Can't see any light through it. So we're just going to wave this over it. Till the spring gets hot. There you go. It opened. Oh, thermostat's good. Usually it'll open maybe 3/16 of an inch, sometimes a quarter, depending on the style. So thermostat's good. Now we'll let this cool off, and we'll get this on, get the neck on. Nice powder coating job. K&D Coatings did it. We have to find a plug for here, and then I have to take the sending units out of the other motor to put in this motor, including the oil pressure. That'll be done. The timing cover I painted, that's going to go on here, and then front of the motor should be done. So we'll take the gasket, and as soon as the thermostat cools off, because now you see, folks, it really opened up now. It's open as far as it'll go. That's 1/4 inch. So once it cools off, it'll gradually close back up, and then we'll be able to install that along with this gasket. And I have to take these 2 bolts out. If I can figure out where my ratchet went. Because this is where the timing mark goes. Right here. See all these chrome Allen head fasteners. Really nice. Thermostat's closing. It takes a little while. So, move the extruder out of the way. Man, these mosquitoes are thick. Again. So that decides to completely close. It does take a little while. We'll put some glue on this. Usually when I play with RTV, I put a glove on. It's just not as messy. Depends on how much we get to come out. We may not have good luck here. Uh-oh. Yep, it looks like it's going to give me a hard time. I hate these tubes. I have to go drill this thing. I'll be right back. Some people may not do it, but when I do a thermostat, I lay it on. I put it around where the thermostat goes. Really lay it in there. Thick. Like that. I also want to make sure the thermostat can't move. And another thing is, you make sure when you put these in, the spring goes towards the engine. You put it in the other way, it won't work, and you're going to have a big nightmare in a very large hurry. So you want to make sure of that too. So I lay it on there pretty thick. Then I just go around with my hand. Like that. Just smear it around there liberally. And I try to figure out where the gasket got to. Gasket goes on this way. Make sure you always have that hole lined up for this bypass hose, which I've been doing Fords all my life, and that bypass hose still makes absolutely no sense to me at all. And I glue this up if it wants to stay put. Put it right around there. Yeah, you gotta take them apart. It does stink because the way I glue it, but at least you know it's gonna seal. Then once that's done, I don't want to contaminate anything, so I take my glove off. But first, before I take my glove off, we are going to look for a bolt that's missing. Great. Found it. Now before I put these in, I'm going to put, like I do with, there's lock washers on them, so a little grease isn't going to hurt anything. On the threads, just a little. And there's also 2 different length bolts for these. That's plenty. One side thermostat has a deep bolt, and the one side has a shallow. The deep one is the easy one to get in. And you make sure when you put your bolts through that you don't disturb the gasket. Just like I just did. Just turn them in through the gasket. like so. Another reason why I greased, or I RTV'd before I put the thermostat down, was to keep the thermostat from moving or falling down. That's a chronic issue with these. I've had that happen a couple times. You learn, believe me, you learn. And I'm going to get up here after I take this glove off. I'm trying to do it one-handed, but it's not working. Start the bolts first, a little bit if you can, real gentle, just to get them started. And then once they're started, push the thermostat right up against and hold it tight, like that. And then turn the bolts in the rest of the way. That way you know it can't move. And the thermostat cannot fall down. Now the other one, to make it quicker, I'm just going to take my trusty end, put it on there and turn it in quick. Just like that. And again, you don't have to kill these. Get them snug. And that's another reason why I like greasing fasteners or put a little bit of oil on them. There, just like that. Do this one. Back and snug on this one a little bit more. Because you can crack these. And again, I know. Now that's done. Balancer's done. Timing cover has to be done yet. Have to take the carburetor off, so I didn't fasten it, to clean up the intake. We're going to work on the wires, try to get those done. And I have to put the timing mark here once it dries. So then for the most part, we will be done on the front of the motor. I have to put this hose on yet. Once I get all the stupid marker tape off it. And I'm going to go get my clamps. I'm going to show you these clamps once again that I use on everything now. Now we'll take some of these fancy schmancy clamps. Old ones that I despise, new ones that I like. These are like super heavy duty compared to these cheap things. You could literally crush a radiator or something, put a ratchet on the outlet, these will crush it. Let me see, how do I want them on here? Try to keep them the same way. That way. Yep, we're going to be doing that. And then a lot of times what I'll do is take a little bit of WD and just lube these up here a little bit. And then the best part is I'll run down the other side and I'll get it there too. This hose is like the worst to put on. You have to abuse it and bend it. So if you help it out with a little bit of lube, it goes a long way. It'll slide right on. And the weird part is once you do that and the WD-40 dries, for some reason it makes it super, super tight. You almost can't get them off unless you really force them. If I remember right, these are 8mm, 8 or 9. Nope. Nope, I was wrong again. There's 7, that's right, they're not a ball size. Here we go. Snug them up, and that's done. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet. This is going to be really wild with the heater hose. I think the other motor had one specially bent. I want to look into that and see if that's doable. Right up here is where the hose runs off. So it's hard to go all the way down to the bottom here because the water pump's in the way. So we'll just stay right here with it. It'll be fine. Yep, that's good. Squish that turkey right down with no effort at all. And this one is gonna be a little on the tricky side. I guess I'm gonna have to put you up here. Yep, that'll work. Can't wait to fire this motor. Don't be turning on me. Stay. Oh yeah, you're squished. Okay, that's the end of that. Bouncer's done, that's done. I have to find a couple sending units for this. And I have to, for the distributor hold down, I have to dress that up, make that look nice. It looks like hell. A couple of minor things, and then it's, when we put it in the air, we'll make sure the headers and whatnot fit, and we'll go from there. We got to do yet is that sending unit. Got to clean that up. That sending unit right there. That one goes in the intake, and then I have to find a plug for this and this, and probably this. I guess I'll be going to the hardware store. And we're going to take the wires off and go from there. Take the wires off, take the carb back off so we can clean the intake. A few things I want to go over in this carb too while I have the video going. I mean, grant you, these are a very odd looking carburetor, but I know, like, your mixer screws are down below. You've got a triple Venturi, which should promote excellent fuel atomization, I think. Should. You've got to change your metering, you can do it here. I think I went over that already. Right here, you have to be careful when you put the carb down. You don't want to block it, because this here promotes air to come in, and it actually spreads the fuel out coming in. It's like a rush down past the needles, which is awesome. Small primary should promote excellent fuel mileage. Then you have these massive secondaries for power. Look at the size of them. It's only a 625, but it should do really well. When you're open, it doesn't mean your 4-barrel is going to open. It all depends on this. the spring tension. You can adjust this on the side. I know you can also get, Demon make a throttle bracket. They also make, it's designed for the kick down. It's designed, it bolts right in the back here, that you can actually get a throttle position sensor for it to work transmissions, stuff like that. They have a lot of support for this carburetor. Electric choke. Like I said, big 3/8 fuel line, went over that already. I'm hoping it works out okay. I said, everything I read, they said once you tune it, usually it's right there. And I think on this motor, for what it is right now, this should work really good. So I said, I'm really anxious to get it done. There's plenty of vacuum ports on the back of it if you need them. See, right here is where that throttle position, it uses them, and it uses one of these bolts. You can put this on a spread bore. You can put this on a square bore. It's very versatile. You can put on pretty much anything you want. It's easy to get the base plate off if you have to. There's only 1, 2, 3, 6 screws. Choke is adjustable in there, and there's a way to get into it. I mean, there's a lot of good features on this carburetor. And I believe this here, if your choke isn't open, I think it doesn't let the second. Oh no, it does. I don't know what the purpose of that is. Oh, there I do. This is actually how to choke it. This is not like a Holley. A Holley goes straight down to the choke. This actually goes back here. This was a refurb. We got it off of Holley's website on eBay. It was $200, I think. So hopefully, here's your adjuster for your throttle. And this here, your kick down lever also, if you have a mechanic like a GM, you have 3 different holes to set that in. Your accelerator pump, you can use either one of these holes with it. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of features on it. And once the accelerator pump bottoms out, there's actually a slider there. I'm just seeing that now. So you don't damage the accelerator pump itself. But yeah, we'll see how this works. I'm hoping it works really well for what it is. I mean, when we get to a point we do other things with the motor, maybe heads and stuff, I'm sure this won't be big enough. But for this application here, it should do really well. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Said we're buttoning this motor up, finally. Hi, Casino. Hi, Cody. And the hamster is way back there. We're getting this all buttoned up, and maybe, like you said, I'm shooting for Saturday. I really am. It'll be done, but with everybody's schedule, I don't think it's going to happen before Saturday. Let's just cross our fingers. See, I got them crossed. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Help me out. Have a good day.